Hey everybody, welcome to Dead Reckoning, Dadlife. And boy do I have a doozy for you today.
You must, because I noticed that you kind of forgot the appropriate set props for today's Dadlife. I'm seeing, instead of diapers and like baby wipes, I am seeing liquor bottles. Now, sometimes Dadlife requires liquor bottles, and so that's not so bad. Just folks that are watching, I mean, this is normally the Food Life, in honor of the pig, and Bartender Confessions, which we haven't had yet this season, but that's forthcoming.
It's coming.
So anyway, that's why it's not because Jay's having such a bad time being a dad that he has to soak himself.
No, there are the occasional jokes of my wife having to, I've got two toddlers. I've got one toddler. She took her first steps last night. My 11-month-old.
So she is now officially toddling.
And my son is, he'll be 3 in December. And there are the occasional jokes that my wife will text me at about 10 o'clock in the morning going, I think I'm going to open that bottle of wine now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And so there's those moments. And I had a moment here recently that it was,
Might qualify.
Might
Not
qualify,
really.
sort of. I don't know. But anyway, so what happened was...
It involves poop, of course.
We're on our way up to the cabin. It does involve poop. We're on our way up to the cabin to spend, Friday night and Saturday and everything up there. And, it was great. It was a good trip, and it's about a 3-hour drive. And so we try to schedule...
It's a long way to go for an overnight, but...
We try... Dude, I live in Montana.
Still 3 hours for one
3
overnight.
3 hours is a short... John, you haven't been to the cabin, have you?
No,
if you
thanks
come
for
to the
inviting
cabin,
me.
you would know. So anyway, we try to schedule them. The kids don't sleep in the car, so we try to schedule it either in the morning when we wake up or after they wake up from their nap. And in this case, we left in the morning, and we actually got a really late start. It was about 11 by the time we left. And we decided to stop in Big Timber because we're like, well, Molly and I are kind of looking at each other, going, man, we need some coffee bad. So let's stop in Big Timber, which is about halfway. And or a little less than halfway.
Get some truck stop coffee.
Get some truck stop coffee, right?
Beautiful.
Well, they actually have. We were doing some Googling, and they've actually got a micro roaster there.
Not
a micro roaster. It's a micro coffee place, and they buy their beans from a micro roaster in Helena. Well, they also have tacos.
So it's a coffee shop / taco joint.
It is. So I said we need to try this. So we decided to stop, and I was like, Tito, my son, do you need to go to the bathroom? And he goes, yeah, I do. So we took off, not quite as,
Yeah. Articulate as that.
But so we take off to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
We do his thing, and he's currently, he likes to stand up, but this time he needed to go poop.
Right. And
he's been potty trained for probably, I want to say about 6 months now.
Okay.
So we potty trained him right around 1.5 years. And as a part of that potty training, we have been encouraging as a family the act of going to the restroom.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, did you have a big poop? Yeah, I had a big poop. Celebrate the big poop in the toilet, right? Yeah, good job, buddy. So he doesn't feel weird about it.
But you're supposed to then leave childish things behind.
Well, you are, and he is still, but he's a child.
I know,
and he's not gonna leave. So
let's hear it. What happened?
So anyway, he has this. So I'm sitting there in the bathroom while he's, he's doing his thing. He's going number 2, and so we walk out into the coffee shop.
Yes.
He comes running out behind me. Molly's sitting there with our daughter. We're gonna wait to order coffee and a taco, and my son comes running out and goes, "Mommy had a big nasty poop." Big nasty poop. Big nasty poop. 4 or 5 times, and I'm kind of looking at Molly, we just burst out laughing, and there's 2 guys standing there ordering coffee, right? And they start rolling over laughing. I mean,
it was Big
hilarious.
Timber, Montana. They probably did laugh. But speaking of,
he comes out big nasty poop in the middle of a public place.
Hey,
and
speaking of making people uncomfortable in coffee shops, we were just talking about that in the Spindle. He didn't do it with a 45
Starbucks come down and go, can we not have children running around saying
Yelling
we just
poop,
had a big nasty poop in our bathroom?
Oh,
so
man.
It's like, oh, okay, hey, all right, sweet. Yeah. So that's my dad life anecdote. We had a good time. We laughed about that pretty hard. And the tacos are pretty delicious. He actually used corn tortillas versus not, and he has a homemade pickled cabbage that he puts on the taco that So I had a chicken taco.
This is not the food segment here, but I suppose that's your drive-ins,
big
diners,
nasty poops,
and dives.
and tacos.
Yeah. I was thinking
one generally sometimes leads to the other.
I was thinking, my kids are a little bit, a lot older than yours, and I was thinking about where do we get? I think it's just innate, this sense of insecurity and pride. Okay, and when you're raising kids, you just see this. I remember this absolutely absurd time when I was a freshman in high school. I'd started to learn to play the guitar, and I'd been playing for like 6 months or something like that. And I'm up at Skyview High, and there's a guy there, and he's talking about playing the guitar. I was like, "Oh, you play the guitar?" And "Oh yeah." So we got to talking, and I remember thinking, I mean, how absolutely idiotic this was, but I remember thinking, I'm probably better than him. How stupid is that? Like, I'm probably better than him. Well, it's funny because later in the year they had a school talent show, and this guy is an electric guitar player, and he did like a 10-minute solo.
He did like the Freebird solo,
complete with like Beethoven. I mean, it was absolutely rocking. It was amazing. This guy was it was ridiculous. And I remember thinking to myself, how idiotic. I felt the need. I'm so insecure. I felt like the need to be better than that guy. Well, this all comes full circle because last night I was showing my kids and I were watching some YouTube videos of musicians, and they've kind of gotten interested in my guitar, and they're kind of plunking around. So I was like, well, we were watching one group or something, and they were like, these guys are really good guitar players. And I said, well, they're enjoyable to listen to, but they're really not that great. And I won't say who they were, but they're really not that great. Let me show you. He's not
compared to your dad.
I said, let me show you some greats. Okay, so we spent an hour straight on YouTube, just ran my battery dry on the iPad, but Paco de Lucia, Al Di Meola, I mean, guys who are really absolutely incredible. And of course, I finish it off with Tommy Emmanuel. Tommy Emmanuel, in my opinion, is the finest guitar player that's probably ever lived. I just watch him in absolute jaw-dropping amazement. So we're watching Tommy Emmanuel, okay? And he is just doing things on the guitar that you didn't think were possible. And my 6-year-old is saying, Dad, you're better than him. And I said, Bailey, God does not like lying. I'm not lying. You're better than him, Dad. I said, honey, I am not better than him. He's played that guitar his whole life and dedicated his life to it. He is way, way better than me. So you don't need to feel bad that he's better than me. God gifted him to play the guitar better than me. No, I still think you're better. And I'm just like, where does that come from? It is so absurd.
Parental idol worship.
Drive. You know what? But it's an insecurity. Like, my dad's got to be the best at everything. And, I am an above average guitar player, but good grief. I mean, those guys are like in the stratosphere.
You don't hold a candle to me, man.
Exactly. You're saying, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Oh, anyway, I was just reflecting on that pride, and what a great opportunity as a dad to be able to model for her at a very young age genuine humility and security. It's okay to praise God for the gifts he's given other people. We don't have to be better than everybody else. And
to have such a humility that you can run out in the middle of a crowded, marketplace and go, big nasty poo! I had a big nasty poo! In front of everybody.
Apparently he has not hit the insecure stage yet.
I know some people who are kind of old, and I think they wish they had some big nasty poops every now and then.
Mom, don't turn off the show.
All right.
No, anyway. Yeah,
that's
good
all
dad life. Yeah.
Good dad life. That was fun. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm Jay Friesen. That's Dr. Brian Mattson. You can check us out at deadreckoning.tv. We put up about 4 of these vids
per week. Yeah.
We got different content in each one, so you should check it out. And send us a note, drtv@redfutonfilms.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, DReckoningTV.
I still have about 400 Twitter followers who have not gone over and followed DReckoningTV, which is,
we need to talk more about
cool,
bacon.
Peeps. Make it happen.
One of them said that, we talk about bacon. Holy cow, he needs to follow us.
That's right. Well,
we do talk about bacon. We did not talk about it in this episode, but we
We will soon.
So anyway, that's all from me today.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
See you next week.